Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fuel for Success, episode number 130. This show is literally the most fun you can have with a cup of coffee right here. So, welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome, my friend Matt. And 130, it's crazy. What's even crazier is today is the 1st of July, 2014.
Wow, that's pretty insane. Mike, do you remember the first time you ever had coffee? Do you like literally remember that moment? What was it
Yeah,
like? Who gave it to you?
yeah. It's I actually vividly remember it. I was in a duck blind with my dad, and I use the word term blind loosely, but we were duck hunting early in the morning. It was extremely cold. I thought all of my appendages were going to fall off from cold, and he poured a cup of coffee out of a thermos, and I saw the steam coming out of it, and I'm like, "Can I have some of that?" And he's like, "Sure," and he gave me some, and of course, it was awful. It was terrible. It was Folgers coffee in a, you know how thermos coffee tastes, especially old thermoses, but it was warm.
So you're saying you didn't like it.
No, didn't like it.
So let me ask you this. Now, do you like coffee because you like it? You love the taste? It gives you energy? It's kind of one of those things. I don't want to say addiction, but you know how people are. It's like, hey, I got to have my coffee. Where are you at with coffee now, my friend?
I actually love coffee. I love the taste of coffee, of everything about it. I actually did um, a bit of a study on it for a sermon that I preached one time about the simple things of God. And because coffee, it seems like it's extremely simple because I drink mine black. There's nothing in it other than the coffee, but there's actually like 137 different chemical compounds in coffee. And so it's a complex organic sort of a thing. So it's interesting.
That's intriguing to me. I like to know. See, these are the kinds of questions I ask friends. Like, literally, I want to know these things. I want to know, like, do you like coffee because you love it? Or is it just something that is kind of like you know what I mean? It's like I don't want to say addiction, but it's like it's just become so much a part of someone's life that it's like they do it without even thinking about it. You know what I mean? That's good to know, man. Very good to know.
Habit's the
Sherry
right word,
popped a
Sherry.
question. Go ahead.
I think habit is the right word. I wouldn't call it a crutch, Al, at all, because I can easily go a couple days without coffee, and it's no big deal. But
Habit is a good word.
habit's the right word. So, like, I get
And you
up
know
and
what? You enjoy coffee. Like you enjoy it. You know what I mean? Totally enjoy it. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Everything in moderation. Of course, I know you don't pollute your coffee by putting sugar in it or cream. Any male that puts cream in their coffee, in my opinion, automatic wuss status. Automatic. I don't care if they're like got a beard and their tattoos and rugged. They automatically drop to wuss status when they put cream in their coffee. In my opinion.
well, there are some health benefits in good organic black coffee, certainly in moderation. Uh, as soon as you add cream and sugar, of course, any of those health benefits go out the window. I I would never even consider putting anything else in my coffee because it's just the way I grew up. I mean, we drank our coffee black. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I remember another time. It was a couple of years later. We took a neighbor kid. Um, well, he was probably 18 at the time. Took him duck hunting with us, and he was and I still didn't like coffee, and he was pouring a cup out of a thermos, and it came out, and I'm like, "What is that?" And he goes, "It's coffee." I said, "That's not coffee." And he's like, "Yeah, it is." I'm like, "No," because I didn't like coffee. One thing I thought it was hot chocolate because he put milk in it. I'd never seen it before. I was like 10 years old. I'd never even seen cream in coffee before. I'm like, "That's not coffee. Coffee's black." He's like, "No, I put milk in it." I'm like, "You put milk in it? It's weird." So,
Well, I'm with you on that, my friend. And I do want to just point out the only man that I wouldn't put at was status is Sherry's father, because I have a lot of respect for him. He's the only one that can get away with putting cream in his coffee. Dr. Patterson is one of my heroes. So to answer Sherry's question, there are 182 days left in 2013, or excuse me, 2014, 14 hours and 51 minutes. So that to me is pretty encouraging to still think we get 182 days to like rock this world. To me, it feels like, wow, let's go after it. The year is half over, more than half over, but let's finish strong and let's make it happen. Hey, a couple of quick shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Jeff Breeza. He's from Detroit. He watches this show every day on Archive. Like last night, we were having our Mission 25 staff meeting, and he has been such a blessing to the Detroit Mission 25, literally going. I like people, Mike, that go the extra mile. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I know this show's about finance and wealth, and we're going to get there, and actually this can impact your finance and wealth. Wouldn't it be cool if we slowed down and paid attention to the words of Jesus that says, if a man asks you to go a mile, go with him 2 miles. Like there's a mentality there that Jesus was teaching, that never do just enough to get by. Like always have the and then some mentality to go the extra mile. Mike, I woke up with that thinking in my mind this morning, the extra mile. Like who nowadays really says, I heard a saying once that says like kindness is getting somebody a piece of a toast, right? Loving kindness is putting some jelly or some almond butter or peanut butter on it. You know what I mean? Like it's always giving more than what's asked. Jeff is that type of guy. Like we've asked him to kind of just help us research some things in Detroit. Man, he went out, he took pictures, videos. Jeff, you're my kind of people, man. Thank you so much. Also, big shout out to one of Fuel for Success's #1 fans, one of our biggest supporters of Mission 25. Dude, Pacey had a birthday yesterday, Mike. Yeah. I think you should sing happy birthday to her right here on the show, man. Just to show how much you appreciate all the support that she has given to Mission 25 and Fuel for Success. So, well, didn't you text me and say you wanted to sing happy birthday, or? No, I'm just kidding.
No, that wasn't me. And because I love Pacey and I love our viewers, I am not going to sing. You don't want me to sing, trust me.
Totally, my friend. But anyways, and a shout out to all those faithful people that view every day, that watch us every day. You're it. You are the cat's meow, my friend. You are the stuff. You're the cool kid from you know where. You're just amazing. So I'm out of my one-liners at this point, but thank you to all of our live viewers, and thank you to those that watch on the archive. Just want to say that. Mike, what do we got in store today, my friend?
Hey, I want to point something out, because you're talking about all our awesome viewers, and also we were talking about the statistics earlier. And since we're throwing out numbers like 137 chemicals in black coffee, and however many, would you say 180 some days left in the year?
182, 14 hours, 48 minutes.
How many episodes do we have left this year? Got to be about 130 more. I'll calculate that in just a moment. But let me tell you this. I did some quick calculations this morning, because we do track interest in the different episodes and that sort of thing, because we want to deliver as much value as we possibly can. And one of the best ways to do that is through analytics. And our viewers have watched almost just under 800,000 seconds of Fuel for Success so far. That's almost 1 million. It's over 750,000 seconds, which is 13,000 minutes that this show has been streamed to viewers. That's a staggering number. It's hard to get your head around it.
That's fascinating to me. When you said that to me, I literally was stunned. I was literally stunned that we've had that much viewership, and it's I know it's more than what we thought, Mike. So to answer your question, we got 160 episodes left. That's if we decide to do Fuel for Success on Christmas morning. Are we? Are we doing Fuel for Success Christmas morning? If we are, we got 160 episodes. If we not, we got 159.
We should poll our viewers.
I say we do one on Christmas morning. Everybody will be up. It's only 30 minutes. We'll both wear Santa Claus hats. You know, we'll both wear red and green. We'll drink eggnog. We'll have a candy cane in our ear. I mean, we'll roll it out, man. We'll do it in front of our Christmas tree.
I might be wearing a Santa Claus hat all through December. Possibility.
You know, I'm kind of getting in the Christmas mood already, and it's, you know what I'm saying? I'm the type that, like, come the first sight of fall, I'm like getting ready to put my tree up. Problem is, I usually only do the real tree.
Yeah.
I'm not the fake tree type of guy. But anyways, Mike, we're way off topic. Somehow we got to talk about money. Talk to me, my friend.
Well, hey, just like every Tuesday, today is about personal finance, wealth building, money, those sort of things. And so we've got some questions lined up for today. And you know, one of the things that I was thinking about, and I think that everybody should really have life goals and, you know, long-term goals and yearly goals and that sort of thing. Um, and I can talk a little bit about how important it is to set those goals, but how important do you find goal setting when it comes to money and wealth?
Mike, one of my Bibles is the book Think and Grow Rich. I believe in that book so much, I make my son read it. I was telling somebody yesterday, you see, this book, Think and Grow Rich, okay, he gives a very clear principle. And you'd have to read that book 10 to 15 times to really get it. I've listened to the audio at least by now, maybe 10, maybe 12 times. But the one of the number one things that the book Think and Grow Rich says is you have to have a definite purpose and a clear goal before wealth and money will be attracted to you. Mike, at first when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, it's one of these just, you know, law of attraction sayings. You got to be careful with getting skeptical of that kind of stuff because, believe it or not, it is true. Like, I believe that having a goal and, okay, the more vague you are about money, I believe it hinders that financial vibration, that financial energy. Like I'll always say, money has an energy to it. Money is spiritual. And I think, Mike, this goes for every part of your life. Weight loss, finances, relationships, your life. Like a person without goals is literally a person that will end up with almost nothing. Because you cannot, you know, you've heard the saying, you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. So I think everyone has to have a goal. You can't just say, I want to make more money. Because if you get a quarter raise, like 1/4, you know, then you're making more money. If you have a dollar if you have a dollar to your name and you find a dollar on the street, you have more money. But that vagueness is killing your financial prosperity and success. You've got to identify clearly, how much do you want? How much do you want to have in the bank? Like I've said before, to some people, $1 million, they feel broke. To some people, if they had 10 grand, they feel like, okay, I'm set. You know, I got 10 grand in a cushion. Whew, I'll be okay. To some people, they would like literally need a doctor. They would need prescriptions if they only had $10,000 to their name. So that's why for you, you've got to identify what your financial goals are and what you want. And like, do you want to leave money for your great grandkids? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. But you can't be vague about that. You know, what is your goal regarding where you want to be when you're 50 years old or where you want to be when, you know, 182 days from now and another year has passed, and on New Year's Eve you go to look at your bank or your portfolio, your net worth, where do you want to be 182 days from now? Exactly, like to the penny. That's just my thought, Mike. What about you, my friend?
Well, I would even take it a step further and say that just having financial goals as arbitrary numbers, I think it's good to have very specific goals, but I think that those goals should be derived from what your life goals are. And this kind of goes a little bit outside finance, but it really ties back in. So in other words, it's like if you look 5 years from now and say, what do I want my lifestyle to be like? How do I want my life to be? Do I want to be in a situation where I can give liberally to the ministries and the nonprofits that I want to support? Do I want to be able to travel, 6 times a year to other countries? Do I want to be able to, go on a missions trip once a month? Those sort of things, and sort of establish those life goals as the point that you work back from and say, okay, if I want to be able to do those things, then here's where I need to be financially. And it could be
Mm.
your life goals could be, I don't want to have to stress about the brakes going out in the car. I want to be in a situation where I have a slush fund, an emergency fund, and a buffer fund, right? Maybe that's the thing that's fulfilling to you, to be able to set aside that money and say, I need 30,000 extra cash in the bank, to be able to have that comfort level in my life. Or maybe it's giving, maybe it's travel, whatever it is. Establish what those life goals are 5 years, 10 years down the road, as well as this year. By the end of this year, where do you want to be in life, and say, okay, what do I need financially? Because money is just a tool, right? Money in and of itself, if we just say, I just want more money, how does that help? Right? That's like saying, I want more tools. Tools for what? I mean, what is it that you want to do with the tools? And so if you don't know what you want the money for, then you don't really know how much money you need. And so then it's just sort of you know, a vague target. And so establish what you want to do. That'll help you determine how much money you need, and then you can say, okay, now how do I get there? That's my thoughts on that.
Now, I love your thoughts and I believe in your thoughts, because another principle in Think and Grow Rich is decide what you want to earn and decide what act of service or what service you will render back to humanity with what wealth you've been given. Like, God usually does not give wealth to people that are not going to serve. Like, literally, our wealth is determined by our serve level. Like, with God, it's all about serving. In business, it's all about a service. It's all about what kind of service are you providing to people. And I think that a lot of us have this misconception that all wealthy people and all rich people are jerks or arrogant, or that's, some of them might be, but I've met poor people that have the same attitude, if not worse. And I can tell you this, I know a lot of wealthy people, Mike, and a lot of people that have money that do a lot of good things with their money. So just don't allow yourself to want money. Like, the greater passion is what Mike said. What are you going to do once you get the money? Why do you want money? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your real purpose? And like, I've had people say, I literally had a man come up to me a couple weeks ago in a church, and he said, dude, he started weeping. He said, man, if I had money, I would literally tell you, I would finance one of your whole Mission 25s. I would find out the whole cost of it. And I said, you know something? I said, do you really feel that way? He said, I really do, man. If I had the money. See, all of us have this mentality, if I had the money, right? So here's the real secret behind that. What are you doing right now? In other words, yeah, it's easy to say, well, if I won the lottery, or if my grandma dies and I get this money, or if I could just get this job. Yeah, I'm sure most people feel that way. But the real test is, what are you doing right now prior to having the money? Like, maybe you can't finance a whole missions trip, but you could finance, $50 towards an ice cream truck.
Right.
You know, maybe you could finance, you know, one teenager getting, you know, a gift bag or a Starbucks coffee or whatever, or maybe. So in other words, Mike, it's like this. People say, well, if I had money, I would pick up the bill. I don't think so. Because if you're not doing things now, you're not living your higher purpose. You don't wait until some destination to live your higher purpose and your goals. Like I know broke people that are living in their truck or that are living in their grandma's garage that are living their higher purpose. Like so don't chase money, chase purpose because money always follows purpose. Money always follows people that are doing now, that are serving now. Like the people that wait until everything's perfect, until, you know, it's just not the way you're going to get there. The way you're going to get there is to sell out now, not care almost about the money. And I don't mean that like carelessly, but like say, I'm not waiting until I'm wealthy to do this. God has called me. I'm going to bring this service to the world. I'm going to serve better than anyone else. I'm going to give it 1,000,000,000% effort. I'm going to live my calling and my purpose. And money literally has a way of beating a path to those people's door. Things just happen. I can't explain it. There's something about people that follow their purpose despite the money being there. Like, I just think, Mike, the life we live goes by so fast. It's all going to be over for us. And the amount of people that live this life stuck on the walls of comfort zones and stuck in ruts because of fear, because, well, I'm going to do this once I get more money. You're probably not, because you're probably not going to get more money because money doesn't usually show up in the lives of people that are not following their passion and their purpose. Just something for y'all to chew on there, my friends.
I like what Al said about if you're not faithful with $10, you won't be faithful with 10 million, and I totally agree with that. I mean, somebody who says, "Hey, I'd love to finance all that if I had the money," you know, if you've got $100 and you're not willing to give up 10 of it, you know, do you really think if you had a million, you'd give away 100,000? You wouldn't. It's the same thing. There's just more zeros, just a decimal shift. So, but the principle's the same. Uh, hey, another interesting question is something that I'm actually going through right now as I'm going through and evaluating. And I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, sort of, you know, like recording where you spend money and evaluating that. And I'm actually when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about like I think about the government waste and spending in different areas, and I've seen a lot of that. But I started to evaluate some of my own spending. For example, like my cell phone bills. You know, we have like um, several with the family. I've got at least 4 cell phones, smartphones. It's rather expensive to have those plans, those sort of things. And I started sort of evaluating, you know, where the money was going, some of the things that I'm spending on, and I'm seeing that there's you know, a possibility to save some money. But what if someone is looking at it right now? Because you know what? Here's what hit me, Matt. I'm thinking about it, going, if somebody came up to me and said right now, "Hey, I need you to, you know, send $200 a month. I need you to spend an extra $200 a month." How, you know, critically would I look at that expenditure? How important would that decision be? You know, how much would that affect my budget? And yet I've probably got $200 in waste spending in my budget today. And it's just been that way, and I haven't taken the time to evaluate it. So, in your opinion, what how should someone go about, you know, evaluating their spending? What are some steps that you could take to sort of evaluate, like where can I save money?
I think, Mike, if someone is not consistently taking a look back at the end of every month at every expense, and evaluating it through either some, like I like Quicken. I like Quicken myself because I can take all of my accounts and all of my finances and click overview, and it literally shows me a graph of where I spent money, where most of my money went, and it gives me an overview of all of my accounts. So I think, Mike, it's the discipline of sitting down and like having a process. Like most people don't have a process. Like I think if literally at the end of the month, whether you do it on the 25th of every month or the 30th or the 29th, but literally you said, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to literally take a ruler and a pen and I'm going through my bank statement or print off from online checking and literally look at every little expense. Sometimes that's painful. And even if you circle things, like circle what you didn't need to spend. Like you said, in every family budget, there's probably $100 to $300 a month and things that you just didn't need to spend. See, that is the difference between the wealthy and the not so wealthy. The wealthy always knows where their money is. I know this. I've been around them. They know it. And I think that people that are not like watching their accounts daily, that are not like evaluating like people that don't like look at their cell phone bill. Like, do you know how many times companies, and I'm not saying they're dirty, but I've literally sometimes seen like $50 increase in one of my bills and called them, like that 13-minute phone call, and it was their mistake. But most people literally don't look at the fine print when it comes to their finances, and that's a mistake to me. Like, it all goes back to respecting money. Like, a while back, my son pulled money that I had given him out of his pocket. And it was all like wrinkled up. You know how sometimes people pull money out of their pocket and it's kind of wadded up? And I said, Caleb, don't ever do that again with money. He looked at me kind of funny. I was like, sit down, I want to show you something. Son, you have to respect money, man. You have to. Like, you literally have got to respect it like you respect an elder or a lady. Like, you cannot disrespect money and expect it, because money has an energy. Like, always fold it up nice and neat. Never just like stuff it in your pocket. I know I come across a little extreme sometimes, but you got to get the principle behind when I'm coming across quote unquote extreme. So have enough respect for your own financial welfare to look at every expense. Like, Mike, I do this, and I'm going to be honest, it's painful sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, if I could just go back and redo this. If I could just go back and like, I can't believe I blew that much money. But guess what? It's July 1st. There's a whole new month right now. Hear me? It's a whole new month right now, my friends. It is July 1st. In other words, so come like, ready for this? So you're going through the pain of what you did or didn't do in June. But come like July 30th, 30 days from now, when you do your second evaluation, hopefully the pain of, it's like this. You go to touch the hot stove, right? Your mom told you don't touch it, but you didn't know until you touched it. And now that you've touched it, you're not going to touch it again. Same thing with the pain. See, Mike, we avoid pain so much. Most people in their finances, they don't want to face the reality. They don't want to face the ugly, nasty truth that you blew probably $8,000 last year in frivolous spending. And I'm not saying you, Mike. I'm just saying we, people out there. And even at the end of the year, how many people don't do an end of the year evaluation? It would literally like make you shake if you knew how much money people wasted.
I would say so, and it's easy to like get caught in the mindset of, all of the what I would call wasteful spending is like frivolous impulse buying and that sort of thing, but that's not necessarily true. I mean, I would say take a look at where all of your money's. I mean, look at your insurance bills, look at your cell phone bills, your utility bills. Um, you know, there may be ways to save. Here's the thing. I'm looking at my bill saying, there's maybe $60 in waste in one of my cell phone providers. I'm like, that's like, just imagine walking outside with three $20 bills and just letting them go in the wind. Who would do that? Nobody would do that, much less going out on the first of every month and just letting them go into the wind. You'd never do that. But yet, because we're just like sort of auto paying it, we don't think about it and the money just goes out. So take the time to like evaluate it, look at it. Where's the money going? Where's it being spent? Is there a way to save money? I've read some. I haven't done this personally. I'm thinking about doing it, but I was reading a blog, a personal finance blog by somebody that a couple of times a year calls up all of their service providers and renegotiates their rate. Like, who does that? But why not? I mean, everything in life is negotiable.
Yeah, and especially if you say, "Hey, I'm thinking about switching over because I want to save money." A lot of times, to save your business, they'll lower your rates, and that's so true, Mike. So Mike, I guess what I hope people are hearing throughout our finance shows is, A, we're not Dave Ramsey, you know.
Right.
B, um, we are giving you real life practical principles about money and finance that will definitely work, that will help you live a more financially free future. Because if you'll study Fuel for Success, I think one thing you'll find out about Mike and I is we are diehard about principles, because principles will work for anybody. If you are $90,000 in debt, hear me, and you blew it over the last 10 years financially, if you follow the right principles, you can come out of that. You really can. You really can come out of it, but it's never going to happen for anybody until they follow the right principles and get the right energy and mentality and beliefs and habits about finances. That's why I like that little thing of me teaching my son, don't crinkle your money up like that. Don't ever just stuff it in your pocket unless you're like going to miss a plane. Then when you get on the plane, pull it out, lay it out nice and neat, fold it up nice and neat, put it back in your pocket. So show it respect, and I teach them the same thing about your clothes. Don't ever just throw your clothes inside out. You're like giving off belief systems that you don't respect your stuff.
Right.
Like, Mike, you cannot, like, God is not going to give you a better car until you take care of the car you have. It's just a principle, and most people, Mike, do not respect or take care of their stuff. That's what looks small, believe it or not, is a deep issue in people's lives that they don't value and appreciate. And therefore, those are usually the people that don't get more, and they're always stuck.
Good stuff.
How does our shows go by so fast?
I
Can
don't
you
know.
talk to me about that?
It's some sort of time warp wormhole thing that happens. I'm not really sure. I do know tomorrow we probably got to talk about why Al hates coffee so much. But
Yeah, we're gonna bring Al. Al is like the guy I want to meet. He's like, who is this guy? Al, you gotta show us who you are, man. This guy's fascinating, encouraging, gives good stuff. Mike, that analogy of throwing 20s out the window, I dare someone to do it. I dare someone to literally just do it so it can send up a psychological wake-up call of, this is what I'm doing when I'm like just wasting money and paying on something that like doesn't even need to be paid on. I dare somebody. But if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna throw money away, throw it to Mission 25. How's that sound?
works for me.
Al said you need a lot more money to meet me. All right, Al, I got your back. All right, Al, I'm gonna pick you out a good wife. Okay, how's that sound? Is that better than money?
Mhm.
Uh-huh. We'll let you be there when we throw it outside the Indo, Carol. We love you guys. Enjoy, Mike. I'll see you tomorrow morning for our shows about spirituality and soul winning tomorrow. Back-to-back shows. Don't forget, guys, you can watch any previous episode at soulwinner.tv. We're on iTunes. Just go to iTunes and type in Fuel for Success. Always go to YouTube if you want. All of our episodes are on YouTube. God bless. We love you guys. Enjoy your day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow morning to be talking about our spirituality. God bless you, my friends.
See you tomorrow. Go get spiritual.